Hey, I'm hanging out with hairstylist Jay Fisher. Now, Jay has got 11 years in the business and is one of the top hairstylists and style consultants around. He is also certified in many different forms of extensions, and today he's going to show us 4 ways to put them in. So Jay, what are we doing first?
We are going to install clip-in hair extensions. All you have to do is figure out where they're going to go. And now for her, she's got a little bit of damage, so you're going to want to fill in the damaged areas, and you're going to also want to fill in the hair itself and give some great length. So what you'll do is you'll start like halfway up the head with just a very simple straight part, and then what you'll want to do is clip this all out of the way. Take the piece of hair or the weft that has the clips on it, and you'll want to measure from where the clips go, and that's where you'll want to start your back combing. Start with a spray of hairspray in each of the 3 spots. With back combing, all it has to be is just a simple push with your comb to really start an anchor for the clips.
And it doesn't matter what side you back comb?
It doesn't matter which side you back comb. It all does the same thing. You can really go under, or you can go over. It's all the same thing.
So what next?
So what I'm gonna do is you take the clip and you really snug it right in next to the scalp over the back combing, and it really secures down, and you can really feel that it's secure. And just make sure that you don't have too much hair underneath the clip, because the clip can pop open and you do not want them to fall out. So moving on to the side, what I would say, what you'd want to do is see where you'd want to fill that in, and that's what little number 1s are great for. Is for filling in those missing pieces. So same thing again, you've got the 1 clip, you want to back comb the 1 spot, give it a little bit of a spray, back comb the piece, and then you put the clip over the back combing, and it fills in the missing area. Fusion, they're just one of the most popular of the systems out there. They do take a long time, but people tend to really, really love the result.
And why do they love them?
They're pretty much undetectable, and they blend in very well with your hair, and because they've been around so long, that's their go-to.
So how exactly do you install Fusion?
Well, they are installed by heating up one of these nail tip or U-tip extension pieces, and then they are actually rolled over the client's hair. There's a little bit of heat involved. There's a special tool that you need to be heated up in order to achieve this look.
No, can the heating be dangerous being so close to the head?
It can, but we have a protective disc that usually goes between your client's head and a very hot tool.
Okay, so show us how to do this.
Sure thing. So you'll first start an inch away from any hairline or any parting, just so that you don't see the bonds in the hair.
So again, you have to take an inch around the entire head so that when you put the hair up, you won't see the extensions. Great, so show us how it works.
So I usually start about ear to ear. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you have no little hairs poking out. You don't want any crosshairs, because they can be very, very uncomfortable if they get caught inside the glue. And you'll want to take a piece of hair about the same size as the extension itself, slip the disc onto the piece, and then take a flat clip and clip the disc down so that you get no other hairs other than what you want. And then what you do is you take the nail tip or U-tip extension, you place the U-tip above it, but what you definitely want to do is you want to make sure that you're putting the hair in the direction that you want it to be. Then you take your tool and you melt that glue to a point where you hear the sizzling, and then you slowly roll and you allow it to cool around the hair. We have 1 bond, and then we move on to the next part. I usually start in the center and work my way out so that I can also check and make sure that I see how far I can go. I can obviously only go to about here before they are detected.
What do we do next? Like, is there a certain way you position them, or are you going straight across every time?
Absolutely. What I would suggest is, and here I will section it out for you. So you definitely do not want to go above this section. Not very many people can actually have it in here. So what you'd want to do is maybe fill maybe 9 to 10 rows, a centimeter apart throughout here, skipping a hair doing every second spot. And then you'd want to fill with about 5 or 6 straight lines, avoiding the hairline on this one side here. Remember to leave out the hairline and fill in about this much of the hair on this side and on the other side.
So what are the pros and cons of Fusion?
Well, the pros with these would be for fullness, volume, body. The cons would be, the only thing that makes this separate from the others is that it's a heat-related product. So the only thing is you have to watch yourself that you don't burn yourself or your client.
It also does take quite a while.
It does take a little bit longer, yes. Well, this right here is a micro loop. And what it is, it's like a hook and pulley system. So what it'll do is you end up taking a small section of hair and you feed it through this plastic loop, and you end up pulling it through the clamp. What you do is you take a small piece of hair about the same width as the extension you're about to put in, and you open up the loop and you actually pull the hair through the loop. Very simple. And then what you do is you hold on to the hair extension and you actually pull the real hair through the loop, making sure you're about a centimeter away or it will cause a lot of uncomfortability for your client. And then you give a firm clamp down on the metal clamp and the extension is installed.
Awesome. Are these hard to take out?
They are so simple to take out. Actually, all you have to do is just turn it on its side, give a little squeeze, it will open right back up, and voila.
Wow. All right, so show us how to do her whole head now. Like, how many of these do you need, and what's the process?
So you need about 3 or 4 packs. And the process would be, you would fill in right here. And what I like to do, it's called a brick lay pattern. So you would take one extension, you can just feed it straight through the loop, pull the hair through the extension loop, take your clamp and squish the clamp. And then what you'd want to do is you'd skip about 1 extension space and do another extension in that spot. So you would move up to your next section after you have completed that other section, and then you would take another one, and every spot that you missed or skipped, you would place another extension in between or above it, which would create more of a wall. So it makes it look a lot more natural and it gives it a little bit more room as opposed to completely covering the entire head and not leaving any hair out.
What are some of the benefits of having this kind of extension?
Well, the benefits from these is there's little to no damage if you upkeep them very well. They're also great for fullness, and they're pretty undetectable.
And how do you upkeep something like this?
Actually, because they are a metal clamp at the top, you can open it up, slide it up again without having to take them all the way out, and then re-clamping it back down. So they're actually quite easy to be moved up.
That's important because someone's new growth is going to come in and then you're going to have extensions that are falling, so you would have to move them up.
Yes, exactly. And with these, the pieces are reusable as long as the hair is left in very good condition.
So that is it for our micro looping. As you can see, there's a very natural look going on here.